Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Sage Sorority. I'm your host, Shantel. How are we doing, guys? How are we doing? I hope everyone is having an amazing week. I hope that September is off to a fabulous start for you. All the kiddies are back in school. I know that the fall vibes are officially in flow. We've got a few people resisting autumn, which I totally understand. I think I see at least once every few days someone in Morocco or someone in Greece or someone in Turkey just holding on to summer as long as they can. And honestly, I totally get it. The weather in London has been weird to say the least. It's either sunny and gorgeous with that crisp fallness in the air, or it is torrential downpour. But that is what fall brings, right? I feel like every week I get on here and I talk about the weather. What can I say? I'm a full Londoner now. That's what we do. We literally talk about the weather. It's ridiculous. London has also been going through a public transit strike for the past few days. What can I say, guys? It's been absolutely chaotic. I took the bus the other day, which I never do, and it was fine, but it's been absolutely madness. I hope that that is not messing up your life too much. Other than that, I've been really well. September has been off to a fabulous start. I can't even lie. October is looking like it's going to be busy, and the balance of the year is usually pretty hectic for me. I don't know if I'm in that boat by myself, but I know that the last 3 months of the year are definitely my busiest. So if we are in that boat together, sending you big hugs. Obviously, today has nothing to do with any of that. I wanted to do a quickie little episode expanding on the safety versus chemistry conversation that I alluded to in episode 28, which is 5 self-worth lessons I wish I knew sooner. And I wanted to expand on it because I do think that it's something, listen, I don't have all the answers. I'm in the trenches and living life with you just like you guys are. But sometimes things do tickle my brain and I'm like, we need to talk about this more, even if we don't necessarily come to like a conclusion, but it's part of our vernacular, part of our vocabulary now, and just something that we can ruminate and think about. You know what I mean? We often might not get a concrete answer, especially on complicated life things, especially things that deal with existential or relationships. But I think the most important thing is being willing to have the conversation and just kind of explore it. So let's get into it. Sparks are something that, if we're being honest, we're kind of taught to at least chase and try and hold on to, right? To measure connection by how exciting it feels, how much adrenaline someone gives us, how fast our heart races when we see their name pop up on our phone. But the truth is, we don't really talk about the fact that sparks might start something, but it's not going to sustain it, right? That is not what sustains a healthy relationship of any magnitude, not just dating. I want to emphasize that. It's something that I've been thinking about, the safety versus chemistry versus life connection thing is something that I've been ruminating for a little bit. In friendships, in dating, and even work dynamics, and I've noticed how quick we are to really value like chemistry over anything else, right? Like we get on like a house on fire. I've even said those words. But what we actually need, truly, what I believe, is lasting, meaningful connection. And we do need the adrenaline. I do think that there's a place for that. But I do think sometimes we white knuckle it a little too hard and it ends up burning us in the butt. So today's episode is really about learning how to scan for safety even before time has passed, because that's a huge thing. It's like, well, how do I even look for that when we're just going off vibes initially? You don't really know that person. The only way you can really know someone is through time. So I totally get it. Because here's the thing, like chemistry can and often does show up instantly. It's loud, it's obvious, it really just like holds on to you. But safety needs to be spotted, it needs to be nurtured. It's quieter, it's more subtle. Some might say boring, but infinitely more important if we are talking about long-lasting, tried and true relationships. So firstly, I want to say chemistry is immediate, safety is revealed through time. So we need to get clear on what we're actually talking about here, right? It's that immediate pull, it's the sparks, it's the butterfly, it's the electricity in the air when someone walks into the room, it's finishing each other's sentences, it's getting along immediately, laughing until you're blue in the face with someone that you barely know, feeling like you've known someone forever even though you just met them. Chemistry is loud, it's obvious, it grabs you, and let's be honest, it's fucking great. Who doesn't love a bit of chemistry in our life? Chef's kiss. Safety, on the other hand, is completely different, right? You can already tell by my tone of voice. Safety is quieter. It's something you notice in how people move through the world. A lot of safety is unsaid, okay? How they treat you, how they treat others, how they treat someone that they need something from, how they treat someone that they don't need something from, how they treat others that are maybe quote unquote beneath them. Take that with a grain of salt. It's crucial, and it is how they will make you feel consistently in your body, especially when we're talking about sex and anything sexually derived, the match. But safety is what keeps that fan burning and keeps that fire going. When I'm with someone who feels safe, your nervous system literally settles. My shoulders drop. I'm not worrying about performing, trying to be impressive, walking on eggshells. I might not even be super concerned with the way I look. I'm just vibing. I am truly out of my body in the best way. You can just be. And that feeling, that deep exhale, that coziness, that is worth more than all the fireworks in the world, truly. But where it gets tricky is that we've obviously been conditioned to think that if it doesn't feel intense and overwhelming and consuming and passionate, especially in the beginning, it's not real, it's not authentic, it's not good enough. And we tend to, like I said earlier, just conflate that safe means boring. And that if there's safety, there can't be passion. And it's just not true. I'm here to tell you it is absolutely not true. The both can and do coexist. And I think that is what you should aim for. My girlies, my sisters in Christ, that is what you should aim for. Safety doesn't kill chemistry. It truly creates a little bowl, a little container for your chemistry to deepen instead of eventually burning out. Think about the most electric, passionate, fire, long-term couples you know. I guarantee you, underneath all that passion, love, respect, and giggles for one another is a foundation of deep safety, trust, and respect. The person who makes you feel safe isn't trying to rescue you or fix you or complete you. They're not love bombing you or playing games to keep you hooked. They are steady. They are consistent. They show up the same way at Tuesday at noon as they do on a Saturday night. And that steadiness is what allows real intimacy to grow. Women need emotional safety for real intimacy. Doesn't mean you guys won't smash, doesn't mean you won't crush, but if you want real intimacy, you need safety. And that is 1000% tied so much to our emotional state, bar none. Because when you're not constantly wondering where you stand with someone and you're not overanalyzing every text and trying to decode their behavior, and I want to make myself clear, this is not just an early dating thing. People in relationships do this. People in marriages do this. You have the space to actually connect with them. You are able to truly get out of your head, into your body, and hopefully they are able to do the same. But at least what they are showing you in their actions and telling you with their words are in true alignment. Now, okay, you're like, girl, I got you. But my thing with safety, and when I was doing even research and mulling over this for the pod, I was like, okay, yeah, of course that makes sense in my head. But again, knowing something in your head and then living your life and doing that in IRL is very different. But I'm like, how can you scan for this in real life? How can you feel immediate safety with someone IRL? And that's tough when you don't really know them that well. I think over time, you can kind of figure that out, I hope. But what about in the immediate? We're talking first week, first date, first month, first year, whatever it is. So sometime, listen, the only way you can truly know someone is through time. I really believe that. But that doesn't mean you need heaps of time to get to know someone and a sense of their own safety level, at least for you. It will more than likely show up in the small details very early on. Not only do you need to know what to look for, when you see something you don't like, this is where you need to nip it in the bud by either expressing hey, that doesn't work for me, or walking away completely. This is where a lot of women deviate and go down the wrong path, making excuses and justifications for things that really do not sit well in your spirit. I'll give you 4 things that you can kind of look for and evaluate and pay attention to when you're getting to know someone new. How do they honor your time? This one's huge. Does a friend cancel last minute with no thought for how that affects your day? Or do they let you know clearly with respect for the fact that maybe you rearranged things and you had an agreement? Are they chronically late with no acknowledgement? I will be the first to add that I'm very often late. I'm always guilty. I'm always apologetic. And I'm always willing to be penalized for my lateness because it is something I acknowledge and I take full responsibility for. Someone who just really doesn't give a fuck, that is not someone that really respects you or your time. And that's not someone you would ever feel super safe with because you're upset, you're bothered, you're frustrated, you feel a lack of care. Respect for your time is one of the earliest markers of safety. Respect for your boundaries and things that you've said before. It tells you in a dating example is like, if you're like, hey, I have really early mornings, so we can only do dates, on the weekends or early weeknights. And he's repeatedly asking you for a 9:30 dinner or an 8:30 dinner. That is not a man, I can tell you off the top, that you're going to feel safe with. He is trying to edge your boundaries. He's trying to push you slowly but slowly outside of the box that you have set for yourself. Now, whose responsibility is it to manage that? It's absolutely yours. If you don't like what you're being fed, you have to send it back. It truly tells you whether this person sees you as a whole human being with your own life and your own priorities, or really they're kind of like, you're just whatever, and my needs and my priorities and what I want comes first. Number 2, this is a good one. How do they handle small truths? Now, we need to talk about lying and lying by omission another day, but that is another thing, right? Without making this like a gender thing, I do find that men are very often quick to lie by omission. It's like, hey, did you date her? And it's like, no, I didn't date her, but like they hooked up. And then it's like, well, I didn't date her, we just had sex. It's like, that's not what I mean. So anyways, without deviating, I just feel like that happens a lot with Ben. Or honestly, anyone that has something to hide, but lying by omission, depending on who you're talking to, is considered a lie. But anyways, how they handle small truths. Pay attention to what happens when you say no to something small. You don't want to go to that restaurant. You don't like that kind of food. You're not in the mood for that movie. You're not ready to have sex. You're not ready to kiss. You're not ready to sleep over. You need to leave the party early. You don't drink. You don't drink that. Whatever. Do they make it weird? Do they pout? Do they guilt trip you? Do they try and talk you out of it? Or do they take it in stride? Okay, no problem, no big deal. This goes with friends too. If someone can't hold a small no, and again, this is not about you being unrealistic and being unfair and purposely inconveniencing people. This is about you just saying, hey, that it just doesn't work for me, right? Like, no, I don't want to go to a steak restaurant because I actually don't eat beef or I don't like steak. If they can't handle you having preferences that differ from theirs, they will never be able to handle bigger, more complex parts of you. They are looking for you to slot easy into their life and or their situation, and they're really not fussed, ready, prepared, or interested in you deviating from that box. The parts that might challenge them or require them to stretch, they're not going to be interested in it coming from you. People that will be safe in your life will understand that your no is not personal. It's just information about what works for you in that moment. And again, you're scanning early. This is how we get to know each other. Number 3, do they offer repair? Now we know the ultimate thing here is humans are going to disappoint you. People are going to fuck up. What is the remorse? What is the repair? That is what matters. Safety isn't about never messing up and being perfect. We are all humans. We all make mistakes. And that means, guys, we are all super fallible, including you. Safety is about how people recover when things go sideways. Even early days, babe, people can still misstep. Maybe they said something that didn't land right. They were trying to make a joke and you're like, oh, I actually don't find that funny. They forgot something important to you. There was a miscommunication. All of that stuff, all of the above, right? Do they acknowledge it? Do you acknowledge it? Do they take responsibility? Do they make an effort to understand your experience? Do they make an effort to apologize? Do they apologize properly? Do they repair the rupture? Or are they just like glossing over it, minimizing it? It's not that deep, our favorite words, making you feel super sensitive and super in your head. People who can do repair early on are telling you something super important about who they are and the state of your relationship, budding or not. They're telling you that they care about the connection and they're not as pressed with being right. They respect you as an autonomous person. You want someone who cares more about an equal experience between the two of us than just protecting an ego. I'm telling you right now, you have to keep your ego in check if you want to have long-standing relationships in your life. That's interpersonal, man, woman, woman, man. That's family. That's work. That's friendship. You have to keep your ego in check. Sometimes it's worth the flare. Sometimes it's not. And lastly, point number 4, how do they treat the unsexy, unglamorous, unvibey moments? This one is super important Because look at how someone speaks about people who are not in the room. How do they talk about their ex? You guys know, I don't know if I mentioned on the pod, but I've mentioned in a few TikToks that one of my favorite questions to ask a guy when I'm getting to know him is, what is your favorite thing about your ex-wife or your ex-girlfriend? Love. How do they talk about their ex? Their coworkers, the person who messed up their coffee order? How do they react to those things? How do they treat the server at dinner? How do they interact with the person checking them out at the grocery store? How do they handle traffic jams and flight delays and these other inconveniences? Do they fail? Do they fall? Do they get angry? Do they lash out? Do they crash out? These unglamorous moments tell you a lot about whether someone's kindness and respect are truly just situational, something they turn on when they want to impress people, and something that goes right the fuck off when they have had enough. You want to know, is it who they really are consistently across at least most contexts? Safe people will have a baseline of human decency, and it doesn't fluctuate based on what they can get from someone and how that person can serve them in whatever respective moment. This is key. And this is, of all of them, I want you to also evaluate this within yourself. I hope that makes sense. I want to talk about how we even get here. You know, if safety is so impactful and grounded and important, then why do we keep going for vibes? Why do we keep choosing chemistry? Like, why do we keep overriding our better judgment, you know? And it's truly like a little, nervous system-y, which hopefully you're not like rolling your eyes, but truly like our nervous systems don't always know the difference between like excitement and unease. Sometimes those really feel one and the same. Adrenaline can do a lot in your body, right? Adrenaline can save you. Adrenaline can scare you. Like, it's a rush of chemistry that can truly feel amazing. Your heart is racing, palms are sweaty. It sounds like Eminem's like 8 Mile freestyle. That intoxicating feeling of like, oh, like this is different. This is not what I normally do. Your brain is like turned on in a way that you're not normally turned on. But sometimes it's also like anxiety and you're nervous and you're not comfortable and not in a good way, like in a way that you just can't really identify yet. And research truly shows that the fluttery feeling that we call like butterflies has no correlation with long-term relationship health. I'm going to repeat that. Research shows that what we call butterflies has no correlation with long-term relationship health, sexual satisfaction, or compatibility. In fact, actually, not feeling butterflies may actually be a positive sign of emotional steadiness, especially if you're someone who's dealt with attachment wounds or relationship trauma in the past. We have truly been sold a fucking lie. We have been sold a story that butterflies equals love, equals chemistry, equals he's the one. But calm and present and steady is actually what healthy love looks like. Culture, aka movies and TV shows, have really trained us to prioritize chemistry as a proof of connection, especially women. We are sold. And we're told that if it doesn't feel like some fucking rom-com, if you're not swept off your feet like a fairy tale, if it doesn't feel urgent and desperate and consuming and all-encompassing, then it's not real love. It's boring. It lacks passion and it's never going to work. But there's nothing urgent about love, right? Let me repeat myself. There's nothing urgent about love. There's nothing desperate about love. And that's why it's really important to get our minds around this boring versus exciting trap. Safety doesn't always feel like a movie in the beginning, and that's okay. I'm not saying you should just be with just any and anyone, even if you're bored out of your fucking mind. I'm not saying that either. But it doesn't give you dramatic stories to tell your friends all the time. And that's also okay. Sometimes there is no will they, won't they that keeps you on the edge of your seat. And that's also okay. What I've also learned is drama is very exhausting. Uncertainty is exhausting. Having to text a guy and then throw your phone is exhausting. Always wondering where you stand with someone, waiting for the other shoe to drop, is exhausting. Always trying to decode text and message the group chat and decode behavior and what does he mean by that, and always feeling like you need to perform and earn their affection or attention is exhausting. It's also not sustainable. Not if you want to be a happy bitch, not if you want to live a happy life, not if you want to look radiant and fit and gorgeous, because nothing makes a girl look worse than the wrong partner. Just saying. It might feel good in the short term, and you might even convince yourself that this is what dating is, this is what courting is, this is what chemistry feels like, but it will absolutely burn you out. I want you guys to know that safety does not mean boring. It literally means you get to preserve your energy, stay in your feminine for things that actually matter, instead of tripping over someone that you really shouldn't be tripping over, period. To be honest, if we're just keeping it straight, I'll leave you with this, right? Safety isn't the absence of the thrill. It is the belly that really lets that thrill last. The most passionate, sturdy, beautiful relationships that I know are built on deep safety, trust, and respect. When you know someone has your back, when you know someone's not going anywhere because they've had a bad day, or all of a sudden they don't like the way you dress, or once they were kind and now they're not, and all this other like nonsense, weird shit that I hear that women go through on a regular basis. No, when you don't have that and you can literally be at ease, truly exhale, like that movie Waiting to Exhale, like it's an amazing movie and an even better soundtrack, yes. But that phrase, waiting to exhale, so poignant, so good. When you are with someone, and that's what dating, and that's what a lot of chemistry and situationships and all that kind of stuff, that is a woman who is waiting to exhale. Being with the right person, being with a safe person, romantic or not, is you exhaling consistently, daily, all the time. And that is where the sweet stuff is. That is the sweet spot. That is real magic between two people. So the next time you meet someone new, a friend, a potential romance partner, even a boss, just ask yourself, not do we click, but do I trust these people? Do I feel safe here in this moment? Doing this kind of work? Can I be myself around these people? Do they honor my boundaries? Do I honor my boundaries when I'm with them, when I'm around them? Do I feel confident enough to do that? Do they show up consistently for myself and for others? It'll save you a lot of time and headache because, you know, one thing that I stress often on the pod, and I stress it to myself, even when I'm like talking to friends and stuff like that, is we should be always looking inward for answers, not outward. So ask yourself these questions. We can't underestimate the power of safety, okay? Because unlike chemistry, safety does actually predict impact on your relationship, your life. Healthy, secure relationships, guys, improve your immunity, boost your mental health, they even help us sleep better. And yes, they've actually been shown to add literally years to your life. I will put the stats and the articles in the show notes for you guys. That kind of connection is priceless, and it's more than going to make you feel good. It is going to affirm you. Chemistry is instant, safety is earned. Both matter, but only one can hold space for the other. So TLDR, if you get nothing else from this pod, look inward, not outward. And chemistry is instant, safety is earned. Both matter, but only one can hold space for the other. I hope that you guys like this episode. I hope that I tickled your brain, because I know that even jotting out this script and going through the info for this pod, it really tickled my brain. And I think the chemistry safety thing is something that we'll always kind of be juggling with every new person that we interact with, right? But I think it's so fascinating, and I think it's so interesting, especially when we dig a little deeper and get past the dating aspect of it and we think about it in friendships and coworkers and colleagues and even like family. What an interesting topic, and something to really like juggle and kind of like flirt around, you know? Anyways, you know where to find me. Give me your feedback. I also want to do an AMA soon, so please keep sending in your questions. The anonymous link is always in the show notes, or you guys can email me at thesagesorority@gmail.com. Have an amazing rest of your week. London, stay dry, and good luck with the tubes, and have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. I will talk to you guys next week, same time, same place. I love you so much. Bye.